I've been in the venture capital business now for 15 years, but before that I was an attorney, and before that I was a musician. And it was not the most obvious path to venture capital, but it was certainly the most fun. I studied computer music. Computer music is the combination of computer science and music and acoustics and physics, and it was a very early version of what we see a lot at Stanford and other universities now, where you are studying interdisciplinary. You're taking one discipline and another and mixing them together to create something new and innovative. And I think that was very good training ultimately for the venture capital industry, because entrepreneurship is about taking a little bit from here and a little bit from there and putting them together, creating some new magic that is Facebook or Twitter or the next great amazing company. In my freshman dorm, when I was 18 years old, I got to know a group of young 18-year-olds, and one of those was Jerry Yang, the founder of Yahoo. And when he created Yahoo, he ended up hiring a large number of our friends from college. And so those early Yahoo members were building this amazing company. And I was an attorney in New York at the time, and I came back to Silicon Valley to start working with startups because, Jerry and Tim Brady and my friend Steve Boom and Matt Reitmeyer, all of these early individuals who were involved in Yahoo were saying, look, this is an amazing thing. You should come see what it's like. And so I came out and started working with startups. And startups, I also had no idea what startups were doing. So I came out to Silicon Valley to start working with Jerry and Yahoo and other startups and realized that startups are the most amazing thing in the world. That this was incredible to me, that you had small groups of people who thought that they could change the world, and then they did, That's amazing. I've had the amazing good fortune to visit lots of different places around the world and talk with them about entrepreneurship. So I have spent a fair amount of time in London talking with the government about how to encourage entrepreneurship in London. I've spent time in Paris talking about how to encourage entrepreneurship. And frankly, in our own country, I've spent time in other places, in Boston and New York, where they're similarly trying to emulate what we have going here in Silicon Valley. And while it is certainly the case that you can build incredible businesses all around the world, right? There have been amazing businesses that have been started in other countries. Rakuten is an amazing business that got started in Japan and has blossomed into this incredible corporation. That can happen everywhere. But what kinds of things can we do to encourage that? How can we nurture those businesses? So, Japan has all of the characteristics, all of the elements that we have here in the San Francisco area. And so when people think about it, amazing universities, right? You need really smart people who are being educated, in particular in technology and in the business around technology, to be local and stay in those places and build businesses. The next thing you need is capital. You need investors like myself. We have a very robust venture capital industry in Silicon Valley. And in particular, we have a very robust angel investor community, the earliest investors, the first people who put money in, who say, here is the first $500,000, here is $100,000. I think this is a good idea, go try it out. Mm-hmm. And nowhere in the world does that exist the way it exists here in Silicon Valley, and I think is incredibly important. And the reason it exists here is that oftentimes entrepreneurs who make a lot of money, the founders of companies like a YouTube or a Twitter, etc., they make hundreds of millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, and then they leave the company and say, how can I stay involved in the technology industry? And the way they stay involved is they say, I'm going to invest in 10 companies and help them. I'm going to invest in 50 companies and help them. So creating that angel network in Japan will be important. And then the last piece is there's an ecosystem, what we call in Silicon Valley the ecosystem, and it is lawyers and accountants and advisors and coaches all these people who love startups, want to work with startups, don't think that startups are, in many other places, lawyers will say, I can't work with you because you can't pay me. In Silicon Valley, they say, I'll work with you for free as long as when it succeeds, you'll pay me. That's a huge difference. So if you can pull all of this stuff together, then you have Silicon Valley. And then the last piece that is really, really helpful, and you have it. You have Rakuten. You have this experience, which is someone did it and it was wildly successful. Yeah. So you can look at it and say, I could be like Mikitani-san. I would like to experience that, right? That the more of that you have, the more value you can create. Well, one of the things that's important, I've been to many technology conferences. Sure. I run my own technology conference. It's a conference called The Lobby, and it's a very different kind of conference. And it was based on an idea that I had having gone to lots of conferences, which it is great to sit in an audience and hear interesting people talk about technology and the future and how they're building their businesses. I think that's valuable. But what is even more valuable is that you're sitting next to someone who is also there interested in technology. And who is that person, and how can you be helpful to that person? How can they be helpful to you? How can this audience at the conference come together to help each other build amazing companies, right? And my conference is entirely about that. There, in fact, are no speakers. There are no panels. It's just really great entrepreneurs getting together to have those conversations. So I look forward to hopefully saying fun things, exciting things on stage, but then when I get off of the stage, I hope that people will come talk to me. I hope that I'll have the opportunity to hear what people are working on, because those conversations are the start of what turns out to be great investments, great businesses.